Today we'll reflect on how we can help others without trying to fix them. This is a favourite subject of mine because I could probably get an award for being a top fixer. I even would be very proud of myself for my ability to come up with solutions and fix people. And I was also a multitasker, so I would often be doing many things at once. And a couple of instances I can think of as a fixer. One is that when I was in charge of a IT, not Insight Timer, but information technology department that looked after the arts venues in Birmingham in the UK, I would have a stream of people at my desk on a Monday morning because I had a lot of engineers that go out on site and fix things. And then I'd have a staff as well. And I would have a long queue of people coming and asking me things, plus the phone ringing, plus answering emails. And I was really proud of myself that I would literally be dealing with one problem after the next problem after the next problem. I'd just have answers for everything. And the people thought it was great. They would go away with their answers and they would go and do what they needed to do. So it looked like it was working. And then the second example is I was on a train and it stopped at a station and you could see that there was some fracas between a woman and a man on the platform, and there was some sort of argument and tears. And she happened to get onto the train and sit opposite me. I was at a table seat. And she sat opposite me and tears were streaming down her face and she was snivelling into her tissues. And I felt deeply compassionate for her and wanted to help her. So she told me all about the issue, and it was something to do with there were two men involved and an old love and a new flame and some children, I think I remember. And she told me the whole thing and she poured it all out. And I helped her. So I listened and then I came up with all these solutions. And I gave her some pen and a paper and she wrote out an action plan. And she was really, really happy, thanked me so much for helping her. Because I'm a troubleshooter at heart. I find a problem and then I find a solution. And I'm really good at that. And I've done that all of my life. For myself is as a child when I needed to do that, and then as an adult. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with that, right? Fast forward many years when I started to learn about the three principles, which is what all of my talks and courses and everything that I do, my coaching is based on now. And I've learned two things. One, that listening is the 100% most powerful thing you can do for anybody at any time. Just listening. And it shouldn't even be preceded with the words just. Listening, deeply listening, being present, having no agenda, not having anything on your mind as to what that person should do, really just being there with them. And when I first started coaching 15 odd years ago, I didn't really take notice of this, but people would say at the end of the coaching, I would say, what really impacted you? What did you get What did you enjoy the most? And they would say, I felt listened to. And I didn't really see the significance. In fact, I was a little disappointed. I actually thought, that's it. Like, you felt listened to. And I came to see that many, many people do not feel listened to. We are in a busy world. We have, especially now, 15 years on, we have so much information pouring in from so many directions. We have so many distractions. Our mental capacity for being present and being still seems to be, they say, diminished. You only have to think about the platforms where you're constantly scrolling. And so even more so now, there is less listening. But listening is the biggest gift that you can give anybody. So I do a whole course on listening. The second thing that I've discovered that is so helpful and stopped me from trying to fix other people and coming up with solutions for them is that I really see deeply that everybody has access to their own bespoke solutions. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that every individual hears their wisdom, their inner power, their guide, whatever you want to call it, in the moment that they need help. And that will look completely different for every single person. Insight is bespoke. And so what happens if you try to fix somebody? You block not their ability, but their inclination to try and find a solution for themselves. If you listen with an agenda, like if I listen to somebody and think, oh, they're just overthinking, and I try to seem as though I'm just listening, but in actual fact, I'm hoping that they get the insight that they're overthinking, I am shielding their potential solutions because they might not be overthinking. It might look like that to me, but it might not be the case. So to really see that every single person has access to their own solutions, and that all your job is, as a friend, as a facilitator, as a guide, as a coach, all your job is, all my job is to listen. And if I have the capacity, be curious and ask questions that help that person get below the level of thinking to what their answers might be. But when you trust that someone else knows what they need to do, even if they can't see it right now, when you 100% trust that, they feel it. They feel your trust. And even if they feel confused, or they just want you to give an answer, or they think that you're trying to get at something, if you 100% trust that, they will see it for themselves at some point too. And if you aren't sure right now, so if you're helping someone over this period or at any time, and it seems desperate to you too, trust in your listening. So listening first, and then that trust comes. And I will say this, 100% guarantee that you will be surprised at what people come up with. So when I was a fixer, and I was giving people solutions and they seemed like great solutions, I would think that, yeah, that's good. Well, why don't they just put that in place? And the reason why is it's your insight. So when you come up with a solution, that's your insight. That's not their insight. And people change and they shift and they get motivated by their own internal insight, by their own knowing. And we're here as friends and facilitators to point them at their own knowing. And the less of you in the room, the better. Working in prison really helped me to see this, because people would come to me with problems that I had no idea how to fix. They would come to me with things that I had never even experienced. People would come with, they'd seen their friend had died in their arms who'd been shot, or that they had to get into fights with another gang member because of some rules, or they didn't know how on earth they would get a job when they left prison, and hundreds and hundreds of other things. Their challenges were not things that I knew about. And thank goodness I didn't need to. All I needed to do was get present, help them get present, and trust that they absolutely could find a solution and that they had as much wisdom as me for their own lives. This series of programs are to help you connect with your inner space. And during today's reflection, the invitation is to see that your inner light, your source of light, can help others, not by fixing them, but by staying connected to your wisdom so that they can feel supported by your presence alone. When we stop trying to be the expert, it allows people the space to be their own experts. So we'll do that right now. If you're not already really comfortable, then I invite you to just move a little bit and get yourself comfortable. Settle down even further onto the furniture that you're on. Allow your body to settle. Allow your hands to rest gently, either in your lap or on your tummy. And allow your eyes to close. You are safe. There are no expectations. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just here now, this gift of time for yourself. So let your breathing fall into a steady rhythm. Don't worry if your thinking is on top of you. You can come back to that afterwards. In today's pocket of peace, we'll explore the quiet power of helping without fixing. We'll explore it through the lens of the three principles of mind, consciousness, and thought. And we'll reconnect with the understanding that our presence alone can be a profound gift. Let's begin with mind. Mind is the universal energy that animates all of life. As you breathe deeply in and out, imagine this energy as a calm and steady river flowing through you and connecting you to everything around you. With each breath in, feel yourself grounding into this flow of life. and know that this energy sustains you and those you care about. And you don't need to fix or change anyone. You can trust that they too are connected to this same infinite source of wisdom and resilience. Rest in this truth for a moment. Your presence is enough. Now return your attention to consciousness, which is the awareness that allows you to experience life. Notice how simply being present opens up your ability to truly listen to yourself and to life. Bring your awareness to your breath, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, and the sensations of stillness within you. In this space of awareness, reflect on how deeply listening without judgment or fixing creates connection and understanding. When you don't offer solutions, you hold the space for someone else's journey with openness and love. Finally, we'll reflect on thought, the ever-changing stream of ideas and stories that pass through your mind. Imagine those thoughts drift by like leaves on a stream. Beneath them lies a quiet stillness, a space where you can simply be. From this place of stillness, imagine sitting with someone who may need your support. Imagine being with them without the need to fix or offer solutions, but simply being there as they find their own way forward. Notice how freeing this feels for both you and them. To be able to release the need to control or solve, and instead offer the gift of presence and deep listening. We'll soon prepare to close. If you're enjoying this space, then switch off your device and stay here, because anything that you hear from within your own consciousness is way more important than anything I have to say. While we're here, I invite you to acknowledge yourself for giving yourself this gift of stillness, no matter how you do stillness. So if you're ready to come back to the room, move a little on your furniture, roll your shoulders, take a big cat stretch, move your head on your neck, wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, and flutter open your eyes. Remember that the greatest gift we can give is our presence and our willingness to listen deeply.